It took a really, really long time for me to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I actually hated high school, probably mostly because I was just a terrible student. I wasn't like a bad kid. I wasn't, a troublemaker, but I just really didn't see the point of it all at the time. Like history class? Come on, there was no point to that. Except for one time, we were doing one of those review games, where you break down into groups and you're trying to score points for your team. I was contributing nothing at the time until the teacher asked one question. He said, "How many miles is a furlong?" No, sorry, how many miles are in 10 furlongs? And my hand shot up into the air. I said, 1.25 miles. The entire room turned to look at me. I think mostly because they're wondering, who is this guy talking? But the other thing was, what the hell is a furlong? I knew because this was a math question. Math kind of came easy to me. Math was one of those subjects I felt smart. I really didn't know what I wanted to do by the end of high school, but I definitely knew it'd have to involve math in some way. Well, since I hated high school, I did what everybody else did. I went off to college. This was, unbeknownst to my parents, this was a $10,000 year-long case study on a complete waste of time and money. Yeah, 2 C's, 5 D's, and an F later. I had all the statistical and mathematical evidence I needed to prove that I was a terrible student. Yeah. So at this point, I bounced around from school to school for a while, about 1.5 years, and finally gave it up, and I decided I'd try to make it in the world without a degree. So I started waiting tables. I was pretty good at it, actually. It takes like a mathematical mind to keep 2-3 steps ahead of like what you're doing in a night to give really great service. My mathematical, logical mind would help with that. But I also tried financial services for a while, diving into that end of the mathematical pool, but nothing was really fitting. And then I did get a break with in August of '99. There was this startup company, this electric company. They wanted me to be their office manager. I'd never really done anything like that before. So I decided to go back to school and take some office accounting, Microsoft Word, those kind of things, and try and get myself to be a better office manager. But after a few months, typing letters and preparing PowerPoint presentations, not my thing at all. But all those like meaningless jobs really did teach me one thing. It actually helped me with this terrible student problem, as I called it. I learned this fundamental theorem of workmanship. That's what I called it. I don't know. I just made it up. But basically, if you show up to a job and you work hard, you get compensated, and so I figured I could just apply that to going to school, get all my classes, work hard, and I'm going to get the good grades. So now I came up with a plan. I formulated a plan. Step 1 to the plan was I'm going to go to a community college, get my core requisites out of the way, get a GPA, that kind of thing. Step 2, go on to a 4-year school. All of this so that I could do, being that I hate school, I hate, high school and all that kind of stuff, I figured, what else am I going to do but become a high school math teacher, right? So, I got this plan together, and it's going well. I'm working the plan. It's a solid plan. So I at this point in my life, I got married. It was a good thing. It was great. I got married. I bought a house. We got a mortgage. So we actually have a baby on the way. Like, things are really kind of coming into order for me. I got this plan going on. The stakes are a little bit higher, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about everything. And then we got a piece of mail. It was one of those smaller envelopes from the College of New Jersey, the 4-year school that I was trying to get into. I was rejected. I mean, like, just devastated. It was one of those things you just, I had the plan. It was working, right? But so at this point, I needed some help. I needed to go find some help with this whole thing. So I went over to the counseling center at the community college I was going to, and asked for some help. And they looked into my records. They looked at my transcript. I told them my plan, what I really wanted to do, and so they made a call over to Kelly Williams. He was at the College of New Jersey, this local, a 4-year school that was close by to my house. It was a great teaching school. And he asked me to write a 500-word letter explaining why I should be reconsidered. What is it about me that I should be reconsidered? Well, actually at the community college, I got all A's except for one class, English Composition 1 and 2. It was my 2 B's. But actually, Dr. Shore at community college, he was fantastic. So I get this letter together for Kelly Williams, send it over there, and a few weeks later, got the big letter, got the big envelope. It was, I mean, such a wonderful, wonderful thing. And, 3 years after that, actually, I finished up in 3 years, graduated with honors. Now I'm working for Pemberton Township High School down in Burlington County, New Jersey. Been there for 11 years now. Just finished up Thursday, just finished up my 11th year. And I'm doing well. I mean, it's challenging, working with high school students. We get that question like, what's the point of this class? I have no idea how to answer that usually. And I'm completely, no. But, trying to bring that positive energy like on a daily basis, trying to be more creative, trying to come up with something new, trying to bring it every day. It is challenging, but, I try to just think back, Kelly Williams, he that day changed my life. He had no idea, but it was quite the day. Well, now I know with mathematical certainty that I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's teaching math. Thank you very much.